a group of armed forces veterans has called the decision to stop the upkeep of war graves as disrespectful.
The grass grows, people forget. The grass grows, people can't find things. The grass grows and people don't bother coming.
Welcome to Tactical Truths, the go-to series for military news, tactical analysis and frontline stories that matter. Before we get started, I need your help. 73% of you who watch regularly haven't subscribed yet. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and helps us make this show better for you every single week. I'm Phil Campion, former UK SAS, and this is Tactical Truths. The Bishop's Stortford Town Council has made the decision that sent shockwaves through the veteran community. Maintenance of the old cemetery has stopped, and with it, the visible respect for the men buried there. This isn't about politics, it's about dignity, and what kind of a country we become if we forget those who served. Let's take a look at what's actually happening there.
Good evening. A group of armed forces veterans has called the decision to stop the upkeep of war graves in Bishop Stortford as disrespectful.
Disrespectful is light to what I would have called it, but there you go. Let's hear what else they've got to say.
The town council stopped strimming parts of the old cemetery to help wildlife. The veterans say...
Help wildlife. No, these are war graves. These aren't vegetation for animals. These are war graves. These are where the people who laid down everything they had for the good and benefit of the whole country are laid to rest. All right? So let's just put that into perspective. Let's keep it clean, let's keep it tidy, and let's keep it how it is. All right? Or how it was.
Overgrown graves neglect the dignity and memory of those who gave their lives for their country. Hannah Pettifer reports.
Every year in Bishop Stortford's old cemetery, these veterans lay crosses and poppies on the graves of those who lost their lives in the two world wars.
See, people who understand, people who know what the score is, do you know what I mean? And it's all too busy sometimes with people forgetting all this sort of stuff and just revelling in the freedom they've been afforded by the actions of these great men who are buried in these places, all right?
They've identified more than 50 war graves here and see it as their duty to remember their sacrifices. But they say a decision by the town council to stop the maintenance of the cemetery and turn it into a haven for wildlife and biodiversity.
And since when did cemeteries become a haven for wildlife? And the countrysides for that, there's millions of acres of countryside, do you know what I mean? Not there, not for me, all right? No. Leave that alone.
Undermines their efforts.
This is a prime example. We're heading down to one of the Commonwealth war graves where we've had to come through all of this that's overgrown just to make our way round to the front of it. As you can see, just everything around it is completely overgrown.
The council has stopped strimming and mowing some areas in the cemetery following complaints about ecological damage and...
Ecological damage? That's not ecological damage at all, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Noise. But Mark Greatbatch, who served in the Royal Navy, says the decision shows a complete lack of respect.
Absolutely, and well done for highlighting it, my friend.
It's awful. We've got, almost 50 Commonwealth war graves, and they're all just being allowed to become overgrown. Means that people can't get access to them.
And a member of the Armed Forces Breakfast Club as well. What a fine man. What a fine man you are, Mark.
You can't even see them in some cases. What this is doing is it's allowing everything to be hidden and masked. The grass grows.
The Devonshire regiment there you go, a fine regiment, age 27, no age at all, gave the best years of his life. For now, someone not to even want to trim his grave. It's not right, is it? That's wrong, isn't it? That's proper wrong. Tell me if I'm right. Tell me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong, tell me. But I don't think I am I? And our friends down there certainly aren't wrong.
People forget. The grass grows, people can't find things. The grass grows and people don't bother coming.
The council says it's reverted to a plan it created in 2012, which recommended strimming around graves once a year to encourage biodiversity. But the veterans argue that the cemetery has always been maintained since then, and to stop now doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense at all.
If you go to the war graves other war graves, they're just immaculate, particularly the Commonwealth war graves, where there's flowers, roses, you know, like a bowling green.
Yeah, something reeks here, something reeks. You know, when you do look at other sites, you know, they are well maintained, they are respected, you know, and, you know, you've got the War Graves Commissioner down there kicking off and, you know, they do a massively decent job, the War Graves Commission do, you know, so, you know, they keep... Something's going on here. I'm adamant something bigger is behind this, I'm telling you that now.
Really, you know, so I think it's a shame.
The council says it's arranged for a survey to be carried out, after which it will review its plan.
Oh, really? No. How about you just sort yourselves out? Do you know what I mean? That's what you really need. Just sort yourselves out.
The veterans, meanwhile, have started an online petition calling for the old cemetery to be restored to its former condition. A mark of respect, they say, is the very least they can do for those who should never be forgotten. Hannah Pettifer, ITV News, Bishop Stortford.
Absolutely. In summary then, we've seen the news, but here's a deeper story. The old cemetery in Bishop Stortford is home to at least 36 war graves. These are the final resting places of servicemen from World War I and World War II. Now, they're covered in tall grass, choked by weeds, and in some places barely visible. The town council says the pause in maintenance is to promote biodiversity. But the timing has collided with a new piece of legislation, the Bishop Stortford Cemetery Act 2024. This act allows the council to lift and deepen any grave over 75 years old to make room for new burials. They've promised the war graves are exempt, but many locals and veterans say they've already broken trust, because if you can't keep a grave tidy, how can we believe you'll keep it protected? Mark Greatbatch, a Royal Navy veteran, has launched a petition to reverse the policy and restore the dignity of the cemetery. He said it plain. Honouring the dead isn't optional. It's a duty. And he's not alone. Thousands are signing. Media attention is growing. Even MPs are starting to ask questions. The tactical truth isn't about environmentals versus heritage. It's about basic respect. Because a nation that forgets its dead, especially its war dead, risks forgetting why it's free in the first place. Added to this, I've heard a little bit of a rumbling that there might be a bit of a land grab going on around there as well. And a bit of bunts could be going in a councillor's pocket. But if you know any more than that than I know right now, let me know, because I'm certainly going to go and have a little bit of a dig into this story, because I think there might just be a little bit more behind what's going on than what's being seen. Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that. If you want the conversations we can't say out loud, join Force TV Plus for just 16 pence a day.